3.3 is solving systems of inequalities. So for solving systems of inequalities, we don't have as many options as system of equations. Systems of equations, we can use substitution, elimination, graphing, or matrices. Where inequalities, you're going to have to choose to graph it. So for this first example, we want to get the y's by itself, so then we can go ahead and graph our lines. So I have both of my equations. I'm going to get the y's by itself. So for this first one, minus x on both sides, these x's cancel out, so I get y is greater than or equal to negative x plus 6. The second equation, I'm going to subtract 5x on both sides. And then from here, I have multiplication, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So negative 5 divided by 2 is negative 5 halves. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Now notice I didn't divide by a negative. If I were, I need to switch the direction of my inequality. That rule doesn't go away. So then I have my two equations. Then I need to graph them. So I start at 6, my y-intercept, and then my slope is negative 1. So down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. Its y is greater than or equal to, so then I need a solid line. And then it's greater than, so I shade above. So up here and over here would be shaded. Now this next one, I start at 10, and then I go down 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 2. Down 5, and over 2. And then from here, I need to make my solid line, and then it's less than or equal to, so then I shade either here or here. And then for a linear system, we need to shade where they overlap. So all of this part would be shaded as where they overlap. Now if you have highlighters, I would strongly encourage you, like for the first one, shade everything above this one. So I shaded both of these. For this second one, I shade everything below it. So both of these, and then where they overlap is right here. Number 2, again, I get my y's by itself. So minus x, I get y is greater than negative x plus 4, minus 3x, divide by 7, so negative 3 divided by 7, negative 3 sevenths x, 21 divided by 7 is 3. I go ahead and graph these, so positive 4 I go up to, 1, 2, 3, 4, then down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. It's greater than, so I need a dotted line, and then I'd shade both of these parts. And then for this one, I start at 3, and then I go down 3 over 7, down 3 over 7. It's solid line, and then it's less than this, so I shade both of these. Where they overlap is this part right here. Now my solution is just going to be the graph itself. I don't want to list them like my equations, because equations is just one point where they overlap. An inequality, all of these points in the shaded area is a solution, so it'd be too hard to list all of them. This next one, again, get the y's by itself. So then minus 2x, and then notice this one, it's negative 1y, so divide by negative 1. I'm dividing by a negative, so I need to remember to switch the direction of my inequality. Negative 2 divided by negative 1 is positive 2x, negative 3 divided by negative 1 is positive 3. The second one, they were nice, they already gave the y by itself. So I go ahead and graph it. I go to positive 3, and then my slope is 2, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. It has a bar underneath of it, so I need a solid line. It's less than, so I shade both of these areas. This next one, I go to positive 1. My slope is negative 1/2, so down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. It is a solid line also, but it's greater than, so I shade both of these areas, and then I shade where they overlap, and that is my final answer. Last one, I have y is less than or equal to 3, y is greater than or equal to absolute value of x minus 1. Now y equals a number is always going to be a horizontal line, x equals a number is always going to be a vertical line. So y equals 3, so we go to 3 on the y-axis, we make that horizontal line, it's solid, It's less than, so we shade everything below it. Now this one has absolute value bars, so we know it's going to be a V shape. It's going to go to the right 1 unit, so we went to the right one. The A, there's no number there, so it's just 1, so up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, or up 1 back 1, up 1 back 1. It's a solid line, and then it's greater than, so we shade everything above it. So this triangle in the middle is where they overlap.